Right, so it would appear I'm the only one here at the moment. So, because we're going to be waiting a few minutes to see who else shows up here. Um, One is the loneliest number that you'll ever see. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever be. I'll wait to see who else might end up showing up here. Moment, I'm the only one here. Uh, I would still say I'm the only one watching at the moment. Let's see. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. An adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears. Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skill. Everybody wants to get there faster, make their way to the top of the hill. Each time you try, gonna get a little bit better. Each step you climb, one more step up the ladder. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude, but you still gotta catch 'em all to be the best that you can be. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. It's a whole new world we live in, but you still gotta catch 'em all. Be the best that you can be. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Pokemon Johto. Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition. Went met the greatest escape ever known. High on the rapids, sun coming down, 1,000 feet below. In the land of the Lord, in the land of the Lord, in the land of the Lord, in the land of the lost. Well, now look, we have two people here. Hello, second person. How are you doing today? Well, you're doing well. As always, of course, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. It helps with the algorithm. We're just waiting to see who else shows up, see how many more people can come in here before I get started. Um, so even if you're lurking, if you can at least acknowledge who you are, so I know who's here, that would be nice. Let's see. Everybody shout! Come on, let's hang out. It's time for the groovies get together. We're gonna see how funny they can. Hey, 80, there we go. Going to stay quiet tonight, but that was a favorite Saturday morning show, Land of the Lost. All right. Well, I don't mind. Obviously, 80. I don't mind if people. I know some people just like to lurk and just listen and stuff. I just want you to at least say hi to where I can see who's here. No, no. Let's see. We're kind of groovy, and you know they love you too. Oh, everybody shout! Come on, let's hang out. It's time for the groovies get together. We're gonna see how funny they can be. Well, it's time for the Groovy Ghoulies show. Do, 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 do. Meet George Jetson. Do, 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 do. His boy Elroy. Do, 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 do. Daughter Judy. Do, 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 do. Jane, his wife. Do, 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 do. Do 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 do. Excuse me for just one moment. I gotta do something real quick. I'll be right back. All right then. So we're at 7.5 minutes now. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes before I start thinking about getting started here. Let's see now. And thank you again for the like and share there. 80, that does help with the algorithm. Let's see now. Scooby Dooby Doo, looking for you. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? All the stars are here, waiting for you. Couldn't have a show without you. Scooby, Scooby Doo. Hey, Scooby, where are you? I'm over here. All right. Well, we're at 8.5 minutes now, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of what's kind of on tap for tonight here. We got some news from Titan Comics. Um, got a title coming out. Also, Lego is apparently getting into the comic book industry, thanks in part to Skybound Entertainment and Meat Publishing. We got we got five stories in total tonight. Two from the comic scene and three from anime. The three anime ones revolve around Dragon Ball, Dragon Quest, and then there was one other one. Check that real quick. Dragon Ball, Dragon Quest, and then there was one other one as well that we were going to be looking at as well. Gotta, oh yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto, who was the creator of Chainsaw Man, um, decided to do some fan art of Captain America. So that will be interesting to see as well, and to see and talk about as well there. Huh. Here we go. Oh, 80. Okay, 80 just said something again. Oh, one day to sing Green Acres theme song on here. I was reminded I have a mic on and headset and hope to try it out, but one of these days. All right. Well, anyways, so let's see now. There's a couple of us here. It's past the 10-minute mark, so I think I'm just gonna get going here. Um, Hopefully more people will show up soon enough here. Um, anyway, so let's get going on these stories, and shall we? We have three people here now. Hello, third person, and thank you for the like and share. I always appreciate those. Um, Hopefully, we'll know who it is if you say hi. um, so here we go. We're gonna get started. Hey, Woody, we haven't seen you in a few nights, man. It's a duet, you know. Ah, hey, Woody, we haven't seen you in a while, in a few days. Hopefully, everything's been okay with you, man. Anyway, so let's get into this story. Titan Comics and Guerrilla Games reveals first look at Horizon Zero Dawn Liberation, written by John F. Trent, published today, June 3rd, 2021. Titan Comics and Guerrilla Games revealed a first look at their upcoming ongoing series, Horizon Zero Dawn Liberation. I guess here's some of the artwork right here for it. Of course, Horizon Zero Dawn Liberation. The series is written by Ben McCaw and Horizon Zero Dawn writer and Tool, with artwork by Elmer Damaso. This new series is a follow up to Titan Comics' previous Horizon Zero Dawn Sunhawk series. Titan Comics claims the series shipped 80,000 copies when it debuted back in August 2020 and was the 11th best selling comic of the month. Here's some more of the panel work here. Horizon Zero Dawn Liberation #1. According to a press release from Titan Comics, this new series takes place during the events of the original game. Um, they also add that the new arc explores the never before told adventures of Aloy and her fan favorite sidekick, Erend, um, as they hunt for a killer with links to his past. Specifically, they will be hunting down the killer of a member of the Ozaram tribe. Ozaram tribe. Here's some more panel work here. First issue features a number of variant covers Peach Momoko, from Peach Momoko, um, Harvey Tolabau, Anne Molina, and Adrian Wilkins. There will also be a blank sketch cover and a cover featuring art from the Horizon Zero Dawn. Here's some more. Of course, Horizon Zero Dawn Liberation. Anybody? We got a few more people talking. So you have to switch voices on alternate verses. I have a split personality, so I think that won't be a problem. Hmm. Anyways, as we continue on here, you can see Peach Momoko's cover above. So I guess that's what they were in there. Now, I think Momoko is a Japanese word for peach, so it almost sounds like a redundant name here. It's almost like they're calling themselves Peach Peach in a way. Here's a cover featuring art from the game. Of course, Horizon Zero Dawn Liberation #1. Next is Harvey Tolabau's cover. There's that. There's Anne Molina's cover. An archer and kind of an axe wielder, axe club wielder right there. And lastly, here is Adrian Wilkins' cover. The book will hit comic book shelves on July 14th, 2021, next month, basically. It will retail for $3.99. Do you plan on checking out Horizon Zero Dawn Liberation? If so, what cover do you plan on snagging? Oh, there we go. There's that story. Hmm. More people are here now. Yay, more people. Thank you for coming in, guys. Let's see now. ATC's here. Hello, Woody. Hello, Pickle. Hey, hey, hello, Mike. Hey, hey, ATC. Waves hi to Action Toys. Hi, Action T. Thank you guys again for the likes and shares. That helps. All right, so here's the next story we're going to cover. Lego to make comic books with Skybound and Amit. Written by John F. Trent, published today, June 3rd, 2021. So let's take a look at this article here. Lego will be making new comic books as part of a deal with Skybound Entertainment and children's book publisher Amit. In a press release from Image Comics, they explained the deal. Today, multi platform content company Skybound Entertainment and global children's book publisher Amit announced a new partnership to launch Lego branded comic books. They add the exclusive English language licensed publishing partnership will bring Lego properties into Skybound's vast slate of notable comic book series, including The Walking Dead, Invincible, and Ultra Mega. So I'm guessing this. I'm guessing Skybound Entertainment must be Image Comics' parent company. And a little heads up for the niche history tonight. We do have a little bit of, and it's quite a bit of a piece of Image Comics history that happened on this date. So hope you guys will stick around to the end to find out what that is. Senior Vice President and Editor in Chief at Skybound Entertainment, Sean Makovich, um, provided some more details about what kind of comic books they have in mind. He stated, as a lifelong fan of Lego toys and content, nothing brings me greater joy than partnering with Amit on this comic brand. Each title will be a portal to the endless worlds accessible in every Lego play session, created to inspire the Lego builders, readers, and thinkers of tomorrow. Oh, there's a Lego pirate ship, I guess. Yes, looks like spring is here early. Who's ready for some R and R? Let's see now. So let's see if anybody's saying anything. Feeling good? Hey Woody, how are you? How you doing? He's back at Pakal. Doing fine, thanks ATC. I need Amit. A-M, capital, all caps, Ameet. Amit. That's the name of the company. Amit. I don't know. Meat is well, on meat, but it's not meat like the type of meat you eat. It just is cat all in all cats Ameet. It's like on meat, like to meet somebody. I guess. Um, Rainbow Legos and June. I used to pull floats in New York City for parades, all different kinds of parades, and very interesting world of comics, anime. Also very interesting. All right. So, anyways, back to the article here. Vice President and publisher at Amit, Eric Huang, um, also provided a statement. Comic books from a key component of the Lego books publishing strategy to bring Lego stories to young readers everywhere. He added, Skybound is the perfect Lego books comics partner. They're also passionate as we are about publishing books that encourage creativity and play. Here's some Lego stuff right there. And then they say here, I guess, in Instagram, this dystopian cyberpunk build by Ad Insomnia Builds is seriously detailed. No titles were announced, but the press release promises Skybound's first venture into the Lego Group's vast library of intellectual property will be announced in the coming months. Lego has a number of themes that could be adapted into comic books, including Bionicle, Ninjago, and their city theme. They also have Lego Island and Lego Racers as well. And of course, as we all know, they've also adapted some Lego, like they've had some Lego DC partnerships and all that. And albeit those we won't probably see in these comics because DC it's its own company. So it's unclear if the deal will allow Skybound to publish comics about other branded theme like Lego, which is what I was just pointing out. Lego Star Wars, Lego Batman, Lego Marvel superheroes. Stop the presses. Write your own stories with the new Lego Marvel Spider-Man Daily Bugle. We'll have to find out in the coming months. This isn't the first time Lego stories have been turned into comics. They previously published a Ninjago series as well as DC Comics themselves series, or DC Comics themed series. What do you make of this new idea? Are you interested in reading Lego comics? Well, there we go with that one. Let's see what you guys are saying here since I last checked. I used to watch all those parade floats on TV. Well, the Thanksgiving Day Macy ones. Bullwinkle, then Rocky and Bullwinkle. I've never accepted non-rectangular Legos as genuine. Barney was a favorite balloon that died during the parade. Uh, I had the erector set. All right. So anyway, that that article, as I said, is done. Now let's get ready to move on to anime stories. I said we have five stories tonight. We just went through two of the five, so about halfway there. My friend is a huge Lego guy. I did like Legos. Um, we take suggestions on making new sets. I remember voting for Cat Mall Bear Legos. Right, so wow, we're not even at a half hour yet. Already two stories down, and of course the CBR stories are going to be quick. They usually are. That's an interview, but we don't have any interviews here. So, anyways, so here we go with the next story here. Dragon Ball: Why the Kamehameha Wave remains Goku's signature move. Um, the story by Anthony Granuglia, published 15 hours ago. Um, so Dragon Ball: Why the Kamehameha Wave remains Goku's signature move. Despite Dragon Ball continually featuring new techniques, Goku's signature move remains Kamehameha. Every kid watching Dragon Ball Z has tried copying Goku's signature move, the Kamehameha wave. Even to this day, it remains Goku's most iconic move among all of his other techniques and transformations. No other attack brings with it the legacy and weight um, of the Kamehameha while still being relevant to the modern era. So, for those of you who don't know what the Kamehameha wave is, essentially what Goku does is he collects energy in the palm of his hand. He collects a bunch of energy, focuses it into a ball, and then shoots it at his target. That's what the Kamehameha wave is. It basically he gathers energy into and condenses it into a ball and then fires it out at a target. That's what the Kamehameha wave is. But why exactly is this attack so iconic? It's not Goku's strongest move, after all, unable to um, compete with the Spirit Bomb or Super Dragon Fist. Um, However, it is one Goku has used and altered throughout the history of Dragon Ball from the start of the saga to its later end. The Kamehameha has grown with Goku. Well, I don't know if they'll touch upon this in the article here yet, but maybe one of the reasons why it has become so iconic because it's a technique he learned from Master Roshi, his Earth, teacher, his first Earth teacher, basically. Um, the development of the Kamehameha. Let's see if anybody has say anything more. Yes. Oh. Instant Kamehameha is the best one. Let's see. Development of the Kamehameha. The Kamehameha was mastered originally by Master Roshi, but soon Goku and almost every other core hero learned how to use the technique um, through observation and brief training. Krillin, obviously, Krillin learned it because he was also another, disciple of Master Roshi. Um, I think even maybe Tien may have even learned it. I don't remember if that was the case or not. However, what makes a move remarkable is that unlike other moves from early Dragon Ball, it remains useful throughout the series. Over time, the rock, paper, scissors attack and power pole extension attacks fell out of favor, um, as did Goku's reliance on the magic Nimbus. hmm Well, I mean, it's one thing to have a little kid riding around on a little cloud. It's another having a grown man riding around on a cloud. So that just and I'll be right back. Just gotta make some adjustments here. Be right back. I'll be right back. Just gotta make some adjustments here. All right, I'm back. Alternate names for the Kamehameha wave is the total destruction wave. Hmm? Good. We're now back up to 5 people watching. Good. Yay. Huh? Alrighty then. So, we continue on with the article here. So as soon as I can find the place where I was here. Oh yeah. Um. Oh yeah. Okay. There we go. Instead, Goku learned new techniques to fight opponents, but found new ways of incorporating the Kamehameha into his fighting style. During his fight with Piccolo, Goku even realized how to the fire the Kamehameha through his feet. Um, Before that, Goku figured out how to use the technique to project himself through the air, simulating flying before knowing exactly how to fly. So basically, if anybody's watched Dragon Ball, Saiyans do have the ability to kind of like float in the air and all that, by manipulating their key energy. Um, while ultimately Goku's new technique, the Spirit Ball, proved essential in beating Vegeta during the Saiyan saga, the Kamehameha Gallic Gun beam struggle um, remains one of the most iconic moments of the Clash. One element um, of what makes Kamehameha so incredible in the scene, is that Goku stacks the Kamehameha's power with the Kaioken, proving that the attack's power could improve not only with the strength of the user, but also with other techniques. In other words, he could add the power from other. He could utilize other techniques and increase the power of the Kamehameha. That's what I guess they're saying right there. The Spirit Bomb and the Super Dragon Fist are far more powerful and spectacular techniques Goku has in his arsenal. However, the raw might of the Kamehameha, along with its memorable but simple charge up, um, makes it easily one of Goku's most iconic moves. The Kamehameha remains threatening even late into the game. You see what looks like Goku and maybe I don't know if that's Gohan or Goten with him. That might be Gohan as a child. Them doing one together. Dave's here. Hey, Dave. Let's see. I find it interesting that most popular comic animes seem to be primal in the stories. Speaking of the Turtles, um, the Rick Band and a song called "I'm King," kind of Kamehameha, very punny. Goku stole techniques. Hi, everyone, friends. Hey, Dave. Good to see you, man. Greetings, Dave. Kyle, what? Kaioken. That was a technique he learned from from one from King Kai. I 80. That's Gohan. Okay. I figured it was one of the two. Would it be appropriate to say that Kamehameha is the Dragon Ball itself? No, it's not. The Dragon Balls were actually six spheres that, when you collected them together, would summon the dragon to grant you a wish. You know, later it was like two wishes and three wishes. Well, I think it's three wishes with the giant Dragon Balls of Namek, but basically you collect the Dragon Balls to summon the dragon to grant you wishes. Yes, Goku could learn techniques by seeing them, but he never uses his opponent's moves because he felt it was disgraceful. Hey, Dave. That's one of the most iconic moments in DBZ. Maybe the real Kamehameha is the friends we made along the way. Kamea, Kamea Wanalea. Um, come on, I wanna. Oh, Kamea. Actually, that's kind of funny you mentioned that, Woody. Because for a very brief period, I think in like sometime in the mid '90s, there was an actual ballet in ECW. She was associated with Raven, where her name was actually Wanna Kamalea. So funny how you bring that up. That is very nice thought, Dave. Oh, that's clever, Woody. There are 7 Dragon Balls. Yeah, yeah. Okay, you're right. 7. I knew there were a number of them. I thought, for whatever reason, I thought 6, but you're right. There are 7. Have allowed you need a quarter. What do you mean for me? All right. So, anyways, we do indeed get back to the story here. Many techniques appear throughout the series, but lack bite. While both powerful, Gohan's Masenko and Krillin's Destructo Disc don't have the high body count. Piccolo's Special Beam Cannon and Vegeta's Big Bang Attack have ended the lives of villains, but they never hit quite the same way after their initial use. The Kamehameha, however, is responsible for taking down several adversaries throughout Dragon Ball. Among the villains defeated by the Kamehameha are Broly, Baby, Cooler, and Kefla. But the most iconic use is when Gohan beat Cell during the finale of the Cell Saga. The father son Kamehameha remains one of the most awe inspiring moments in the entire franchise. That's what we were talking about, Dave. Turning the tide against Cell in one abrupt moment. It also represents Goku's legacy. Gohan fires the move with Goku's essence working alongside him. It showcases a passing of the torch, the son using his father's iconic move to save the day. Through every transformation or new form, the Kamehameha remains just as exciting when Master Roshi used it to obliterate mountains and the moon back at the start of the series. It isn't Goku's only weapon against his adversaries, but it is one we'll continue to see. And because of how he developed it and stuff like that, it's one he could use several times in a fight, you know, whereas, you know, some of the other moves like the spirit bomb require a lot of time to gather the energy necessary to use them, you know. So the Kamehameha, because it was originally a human technique, it can be considered perceived as weaker compared to the other techniques Goku has in his arsenal. However, he can use it multiple times because there's not as much, doesn't take as much time to build up or rebuild up the energy to use it. Um, let's look it up. It's I'm Chief. Let's look it up. It's I'm Chief Kamea Wanalea. Of referring to the Dragon Ball because the valet was a woman, so yeah, bro. Be back in a couple minutes. All right, so there we go with that one, and now we're up to 45 minutes, or at least now we've got some. It use up a bit more time there, so let's continue on to the next story then. Here's the next story that we're going to look at. And I do appreciate any and all the likes and shares that you guys out with. Hopefully, we can get some more people in here. It does at least look like the count's being a little more stable tonight, so I'm glad for that as well. Um, all right, so here's the next story. Chainsaw Man creators Captain America is a Star Spangled Nightmare, written by Stephen Favell, published 13 hours ago. Chainsaw Man creator Tatsuki Fujimoto recently drew a monstrous piece of fan art of Captain America, and there's a lot to unpack. Warning: the following contains discussions of gun violence. Well, everybody here is an adult, so we're not too worried about that, I don't think. Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga, Chainsaw Man, has strong feelings on many things: the cycle of poverty, sexuality, government bureaucracy, and the randomness of life. The series' first part concluded um, in December 2020, but the second part and an anime adaptation are on the horizon. While fans wait for more Chainsaw Man content, Fujimoto has kept himself busy with work and also some fan art of characters that aren't his own. Fujimoto's rendition of Marvel's Captain America, for instance, is impressive, serving as a possible reminder that the mangaka's preoccupations with fears and socio-political issues aren't limited to Chainsaw Man. Oh, goody. It almost sounds like this guy is one of the few Japanese SJWs we're going to come across. In Fujimoto's fan art, Captain America is far from the blue eyed, square jawed hero memorably played by Chris Evans. Instead, this Cap resembles one of the devils of Chainsaw Man, clad in an opponent's gore, with a nightmarish rictus of a grin and a pair of massive firearms. Um, this is clearly a deadly and unknowable force for evil. Yeah, this guy definitely sounds like one of the few Japanese SJWs out there. In Chainsaw Man, devils are manifestations of humanity's greatest fears. The more deeply felt the fear is, the more powerful the devil will be. A good example of this is the darkness devil, as one of humanity's original and most primal fears. Its power is so great that a meeting with it spells certain death. But it's not the darkness devil that rules over the minds of Chainsaw Man's characters, except for power. It's the gun devil. Now, there have been a few. There have been a few comments here since last checked. Title of the story cracks me up. That Woody Meal. That was an interesting song. We're the royal macadamia nuts. I'm an American citizen. Gun violence is just TV programming. I am an almond nut. What would he do for a Klondike bar? Chief, check. That whole LP was called Battle of the Bands and had funny songs in many genres. Woody Mueller, it's odd. He says king in the lyrics, but the song title says chief. Oh, I see. You guys are talking about a song title. The two singers in the bass player went on to play in Frank Zappa's band for several years, and you can see them in the Zappa movie 200 Models. I'll have to check the song as I love music. It's short, minute and a half, very jammed kind of song. All right. So, anyways, let's get back to the article here. The gun devil that appears in Chainsaw Man is a nightmarish force of random violence. Its body count is impossibly high, and its emergence has left the remaining population of the world deeply traumatized. Considering the gun devil's United States origin, it's not hard to see that the devil represents the genuine fear of guns, more specifically, of mass shooting. Again, this guy is one of the few Japanese SJWs we're seeing. The absolutely senseless, pointless, and utterly avoidable death and violence currently occurs in the okay, absolutely senseless, pointless, utterly avoidable death and violence currently occurs in the United States an average of 10 times a week. No wonder Aki and the rest are so terrified of it. Latin America tends to reflect an idealized version of America, which changes from era to era. In his earliest days as World War II propaganda, Cap has more jingoistic and aggressive was more jingoistic and aggressive. These days, with notable examples of the shift to Sam Wilson as Cap in both the comics and MCU, we see America struggling with its history of racism and attempt. So obviously, this writer is an SJW as well. The writer of this article is obviously an SJW and trying to use this article to condemn America. A very treasonous set of statements here, attempting to we see America struggling with its history of racism and attempting to challenge this with a more modern depiction of Captain America. Captain America isn't so much what the USA currently is, it's what it aspires to be. While Marvel's depiction of Captain America is one of virtue and progress, Fujimoto appears to post a different view. Cap traditional. Well, of course, this guy's taking it from the Japanese version, and of course, you know, this guy might seem more like somebody who's still bitter over, you know, VJ Day, you know, and the atomic bomb droppings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Um, let's see. And in Fujimoto's fan art, the symbol of nonviolence and protection is nowhere to be found, replaced by an enormous rifle and pistol. Because remember, Captain America traditionally carries around a shield and fights off villains hand to hand. He doesn't. least to my knowledge. Well, he probably has used guns before because he is a soldier. But it's hard not to be afraid of the power the United States holds. Fujimoto's Captain America Devil seems to represent the fear and distant distrust many countries have of the USA. Let's see. The album has a food song where intermediate melody is a recipe for pot brownies. Okay. I thought I was a man, but I was a muffin. Blueberry. Uh, Subalicious kind. Whoa! People can be so unkind. Yes, 80. A muffin man that one he did with Captain Peepheart. Not directed to anyone here, just commenting on Mike's reading of articles. Uh, Smiles at Woody for knowing song. Uh, Japan, of course, has a powerful reason to be wary of American violence. After all, it was not so long ago that it was on the receiving end of it. Even decades later, Japan is still very much shaped by World War II and the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, as I pointed out earlier. While views and opinions on, and Woody would know this as well, being another big wrestling fan, we've seen, if you go back to like the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s, we'd see a lot of Japanese villains being portrayed here in the states. Um, um, while views and opinions on America and the war weary generations have worked to move on too, still society has been shaped by this monumental past conflict and continues to be deeply felt. Perhaps Fujimoto's fan art is a natural expression of the still relevant societal trauma he was raised in. Or, of course, perhaps Fujimoto just wanted to draw Captain America in his style. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Sometimes fan art is just fan art. Fujimoto likes drawing monsters, and it makes sense. He'd make his Cap monstrous. Still, it's hard to look at the violent and frightening Cap creature and not feel some underlying anger or distant distrust. Perhaps the fan art is a glimpse into a uniquely inspired devil, the America Devil, who could appear in part two of Chainsaw Man. Oh, goody! SJWs are now going to found another way to try to vilify America. Whoopee! Yeah, we'll see how much that sells. Anyways. Leto's here. Oh, I guess YouTube doesn't like me calling Japanese by their short name, of course. Oh, it was what did Dave get busted on that? Well, anyways, back to comments here. Hey, Mike, atypical, Woody, toys, and Dave. I like you, Dave. Who cares what YouTube thinks of you? How are y'all? All right. We're just going through the articles as usual. It's just funny. And hi, Leto. Howdy, Leto. My favorite one on here besides Mike. Oh, thank you, 80. That's a nice thing for you to say. Hey, Dave. And typical favorite one, please. We are all awesome. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Hey, I can't be awesome without you guys. If I have no one to be awesome for, then I'm just another schmo, right? Uh, America Devil. If I got the lore correct, this Fuji guy would need to create a devil for every nation. No nation has lasted this long without some people learning to fear it. Yeah, well, Dave, as I was commenting on earlier in the article, as I was reading it earlier in the article, this guy sounds like one of the few Japanese SJWs you're going to find. Either this guy who did the fan art is an SJW, or the guy writing this article is just putting his spin on things. So that's what you got to keep in mind with that. Anyways, as we get ready to move on to the actually, we're going to get to the last article I was planning on reading for tonight. This one right here. Just over an hour, so it looks like we're making time. Um, let's say a couple of. He must have went to college overseas and at some liberal arts college. Possibly there, Leto. Possibly. I think the guy writing the article is just reading into it. Oh, that could be true too. That could be true too. I mean, at first I thought if he's talking about the guy who's doing the fan art. Now, guy doing the fan art here is the guy who created Chainsaw Man. Okay, Tatsuki Fujimoto. Um, so the guy writing the article, of course, is was somebody else, obviously, and you may have a point there, Dave. You may be somebody who's just reading into the article. Um, anyway, let's get back to the article here. Well, let's get to this next article here. Dragon Quest Best Parody Deserves an English Release. Written by Jonathan Greenhall, published 7 hours ago. This is, of course, the last main story I was going to read for tonight. So, the hero Yoshihiko is a hilarious Dragon Quest parody that desperately needs to come to America. The 35th anniversary of the Dragon Quest franchise has people excited. Since its debut on the Famicom, the RPG series has delighted gamers in Japan and America both with its interesting combat, fantastic worlds. Dragon's Quest popularity has led to the series being relentlessly parodied in Japan, and the 35th anniversary is the best time to give English speaking fans the chance to enjoy the funniest one ever created. The Hero Yoshihiko series started on TV Tokyo in 2011 with its first entry, The Hero Yoshihiko and the Demon King's Castle. This was followed up with another season in 2012 called The Hero Yoshihiko and the Key of the Evil Spirit. And the final season, The Hero Yoshihiko and the Seven Chosen Ones, released in 2016. The series is an officially sanctioned parody of the Dragon Quest series. In fact, the series is heavily inspired by Dragon Quest V, with the titular Yoshihiko looking quite similar to the hero from that game. See what we may have. Okay, I'm going to be driving, y'all. I'll be giving simplified answers, so I won't die on the road. Well, drive carefully, my friend. We don't want you to die. That's right. Make it a good show, Mike. I always do my best there, Leto. Someday, Skinny Dipper and Cow Pond may defeat Chainsaw Guy in my comic. Laugh out loud. Ah, at Leto Enchanted. Hey, Leto, when are you streaming again? I really want to chat with you. Hey, Solid. Welcome to the stream, man. Um, Glad you're here. Anyways, as we continue on here, the series starts in a small village that has been ravaged by a plague. Yoshihiko and his sister are forced to care for each other as their father, Hiro Teruhiko, um, left to find a magical herb that can cure the plague. But he never returned. The village, desperate for a hero, holds a test to see who can pull a magical sword from a stone a la King Arthur legend and become the next hero. When Yoshihiko pulls the beckoning sword from the rock, he is told that he must travel to the Demon King's castle and find a cure for the horrible plague. Uh, However, after this standard fantasy intro, things go totally off the rails, and the true joy of the hero Yoshihiko starts. Yoshihiko is instantly accosted by hordes of paper mache monsters, a bandit who can't finish stories, a magician who sucks with magic, and a lazy Buddhist deity who looks on from above. Oh, this does sound kind of funny. The series delights in poking fun at video game tropes, frequently referencing health and magic meters, as well as the weirdness of turn-based combat and the fact that NPCs have limited or useless dialogue options. Hmm. As the show progresses, the fourth wall gets utterly destroyed, and the series pokes fun at other games and anime. Um, this includes a pitch perfect One Piece parody and a spoof of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Um, the situations get increasingly ludicrous as witty dialogue and increasingly dense running jokes arrive at a frantic pace, so there is never a dull moment. That's a scene from the series, I guess. That or somebody live action cosplaying it. Hey, solid. Sorry, been busy probably on Saturday, most likely. Oh, someday to watch a Leto live show. Well, he comes on at 11 a.m. Central, 80. So I think that'd be noon your time, if I understand correctly. Like 9 a.m. mine. So feel like I need to find this show. Oh, the hero Yoshihiko. And this is all wrapped up in a low budget aesthetic that is packed full of energy, charm, most importantly, love. You can tell that everyone who worked on this show adores Dragon Quest and role playing games in general, and that joy is utterly infectious. The low budget elements are used flawlessly, staying funny and clever without ever making the show hard to watch on or visually annoying. The hero, Yoshihiko, is the show that all parody should aspire to be. It's a delight to watch, even if you don't know anything about the source material. There is a good chance that you're already familiar with one part of the hero Yoshihiko, as one scene has gone viral several times. The scene is one of the many battle parodies and features Yoshihiko and his party facing off against a thief with a poison coated blade. Alas, after several minutes of bragging, the thief licks his own knife in an attempt to look tough and instantly drops dead. Yeah, that's a brainy idea there. Yeah, lick your poisoned blade, you idiot. Oh man. Dude. Allowing the party to pass. This joke is perfectly timed and it will resonate with anyone familiar with fantasy battles, be they video games or tabletop games. See what you guys are saying about that, about what I just read there. See if the show, by the way, Dave, is called the Hero Yashihiko. So live action shows also are part of it. Usually not. Um, Again, I don't know because they didn't have anything. They didn't have a caption for that picture, so I couldn't really tell what exactly it was. It may have just been people cosplaying. Found a 28-minute episode on Vimeo. We'll watch after. Um, I've seen that clip. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty funny clip. You would think that the SJWs would be dropping like flies because they'd be probably doing something like that. However, despite this viral frame, the show has never been released in America. So, Dave, you probably will only be able. Well, I know you're more of a sub guy anyway, so you might be able to find it subtitled if even if that. Um, However, the release of Dragon Quest 12, Flames of Fate, is a perfect opportunity to release the series in the West. Fans who enjoy Yoshihiko's Yoshihiko's um, weird and wacky adventures. The show is available on Netflix in Japan, and its surreal nature would actually fit in well with Netflix's American comedy output, making it seem like a no-brainer for any of the companies involved. All right, then. So there we go. That was the last story of the we're covering for tonight. The last main story, anyways. We're at what, an hour and 15, huh? All right. Let's see now. Ah. Let's see what you guys have just said here. All right, we saw that one already. Let's see. I have again. We saw that. It is live action. Yeah, well, actually, 'cause that is true. 'Cause some like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, those two shows are, I think, also considered anime. Um, and they're live action, so like a good mystery and curiosity may kill a cat, but satisfaction brings it back. And though it's not itself anime, it's based on bleeping Dragon Quest, whose art was done by Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball. Dragon Quest is bigger than Final Fantasy in some circles. All right then. So, well, I know that Leto said he'd still be listening as he's driving. I know that, and then um, I wonder if Toys is still around. He just lurking, maybe. Maybe I'll try to ask that another night. Yep. Eh, yep. All right, guys. Yeah. So don't forget tomorrow night, of course. Friday night. So um, we'll be, of course, looking at, because I'll get Batgoat in here, and then we'll be looking at quality comics that went on sale in June, or in I'm sorry, in October of 1937, issues 2 and 3. We'll be reading, of course, The Hawk and also The Clock. Um, so, so you ready for that? Let's see. Santa drives a pickup, reindeer riding back. Watch out for that fat man. He'll be coming down your stack. Round, round, one boat round. Chicken in the car can't go. Do see do. Santa ran over my grandma. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer as she was leaving our house Christmas Day. Hmm. Let's see now. So I got through like all the stories I was gonna get through tonight. Obviously we didn't do as much on commentary there. Let's see. Let's see. So, is there anything anybody wanted to bring up? Yeehaw! No, it's a little early, but considering we've probably run pretty long, we went pretty long last night, and then thinking it might be a good night to kind of shut her down a little early, and then tomorrow night will of course be probably going long again. I mean, you could do a random story or go straight to. Yeah, I was thinking of going to niche. I guess I could possibly look to see if there's any other stories that might grab my attention, but I don't really think there would be. Because there were some other stories that came up since I after the Dre. Yeah, you know something. I think I am gonna just wrap things up a bit. Just yeah, we'll just wrap things up. Thank you all for laughter and smiles. My kids are visiting me this weekend, so I won't be here. But wish you the best. Um, Great kids or just good? Nietzsche, Mike. All right, so are you guys ready for Nietzsche history? Because I think I will just go ahead and go straight to Nietzsche and then wrap things up here. So you guys ready for this day in Nietzsche history? We know Leto said Nietzsche. So all right. So without any further ado, then let's go ahead and let's see then. So the ones I have, the good, the bad, or the ugly. Just love them. Nietzsche man cometh. All right. So oh wait. Okay, oh, that's nice. Typical. All right. So without any further ado, today is Thursday, July the 3rd, 2021. Let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. And we are going to start off on a little bit of a sad note here as we go back 70 years ago today. Um, on this date, 70 years ago today, um, Roland Hamilton passed away at the age of 52 from a heart attack. Roland Hamilton was an American animator known for his work with Walt Disney as well as Charles Mintz, the Harmon Ising people. He was actually one of the first. He was one of the one. He was actually Walt Disney's first hire. So Roland Hamilton passed away on the American animator. Roland Hamilton passed away on this day in 1951, the age of 52 from a heart attack. It's typical. Eddie, kids are amazing at times. Limitless potential for everything. May, May, you're late. We're wrapping up. We're wrapping up. Howdy, Mamie. R.I.P. Sorry for being late. How is everyone? All right. You actually missed. We haven't seen you in the last few days too. Mamie, I don't know if you got a chance to go back and watch Tuesday's stream, but I actually covered that story you brought up. I actually went back and watched that video and then covered it the following, that night on Tuesday. So read Dave Marks. I lost one of them, but thankful for time I had. Up, Dave? Hey, little. Hi, Mimi. Hey, Mimi. And bye, Mimi. All right. So, anyways, back to the stories. We got through that. Now, the next piece of niche news here, going back actually just 30 years ago today, as on this date in 1991, Steve Austin, while he was still known as Stunning Steve Austin, long before he became Stone Cold Steve, on this date in 1991, 30 years ago today, he would defeat Bobby Eaton for the WCW World TV title in Birmingham, Alabama. So on this date, 30 years ago today, Steve Austin, Stunning Steve Austin, as he was known then, would defeat Beautiful Bobby Eaton for the WCW World Television Championship. Let's see now. Sorry, man. I'll be sure to watch that VOD. Then. All right. Let's see now. Hey, Pickle. Sorry to hear that for your loss. All right. So moving on to the next piece of news, and I kind of hinted at this one earlier. This is from 1992, 29 years ago today, because um, this actually was pretty significant, as in part as it's still going on today. So on this date back in 1992, 29 years ago today, Image Comics Spawn would make its debut. Spawn #1 from Image Comics went on sale on this date in 1992, 29 years ago today. It is still going on today. So Spawn issue #1 went on sale on this date back in 1992, 29 years ago today. See if anybody says anything about that. I guess not. I'd figure a lot of you would have. I think at least one or two of you would have said something, because sure some of you may have read. If you didn't read the comment, you might have watched the show on HBO on that. But um, anyways, moving on then to one last piece of niche history before we close everything out. Oh, David said something here. By the legions of hell, Spawn is almost old enough to buy beer in America. Um, Actually, considering he's been around for 29 years, he is old enough to buy. If you're going by that standard, Dave, he is old enough to buy beer in America. He's long old enough if you're going by that idea. So, anyways, one last piece of niche news to finish out the night is we're going back just 10 years ago today, as on this date, 10 years ago today, the OVA Appleseed 12 would be released on this day. Appleseed 13. The OVA Appleseed 13 would be released on this day, or the first episode, anyways, would premiere on this day in 2011, 10 years ago today. So Appleseed 13 would make its debut on this date in 2011, 10 years ago today. And that's it for Niche History tonight, guys. I thank you all for being here. I'm not a mathematist. Yeah, well, it would technically be mathematician, but um, anyways, all right, guys. Well, I thank you all for being here tonight. Hope to see you all back here tomorrow. Hopefully, Batgoat will be with me as well. Um, as we look through quality comics. Quality comics. We'll be looking through Feature Funnies issues 2 and 3. Be reading up on the Hawk and the Clock. So there are 13 apples. No, I don't think there are actually 13 apples. I think that was just the name. Um, I think that was just the name of the OVA, Night Owl. So, anyways, guys, I thank you guys for being here, and I will hopefully see every one of you tomorrow night. Bye.